Good day, grade 8 Gemini. Now we are here in our new topic, which is the consumer's way of thinking. So, first and foremost, what is a consumer? Consumers can be either an individual or group of people who purchase or use goods and services solely for personal use and for not manufacturing or resale. They are the end users in the sale distribution chain.
So, our learning objectives for today, at the end of our lesson, you should be able to explain the different characteristics of a consumer. Second, identify the five rights of the consumer. Third, assess the role and responsibility of a consumer by analyzing different scenarios. Fourth, create an informative and engaging brochure about the government agencies and private sectors that implement the Consumer Act. So I hope you will listen to our discussion for today and able to achieve these objectives or goals for today.
So the action, behavior, and styles of a consumer in buying things show what kind of consumer she or he is, right? So let us know what are those characteristics of a consumer. The first one is you need to be budget conscious. Knowing how much different products and services cost and not wanting to spend more money than is necessary. A wise consumer is not an impulsive buyer. So class, we cannot always be an impulsive buyer who buy things that is not necessarily needed, right? Of course, we need to weigh things if it is a want or a need before we buy it. We need to be conscious about the budget that we have every day. We need to save money for the future use, but sometimes, of course, we cannot ignore the fact that there are lots of things that we want to buy, but we need to control ourselves. So, to help you to become a budget consumer, conscious consumer, it is much recommended to buy things when it's sale because you can save a lot of money due to the giveaways and the advantage that the sellers would give to us. Okay, class? Next is you should be always alert as a consumer because being vigilant should be one of the characteristics of a wise consumer. They should always monitor and observe the actions of the seller. Yes, a consumer should be aware of his rights and should discharge his responsibilities like a good citizen. Thus, when he is alert, he is always safe. Okay? To show alertness, you must perform quality conscious, not to be misled by false advertisements, and obtain cash memo. Do not forget that class. You should always be alert and able to avoid scams because nowadays there's a lot of people who will scam you. Next is analytical. The consumer patiently examines the parts of the products that she or he intends to buy. Yes, we need to be an analytical one. We must check everything about the product for our safety before buying that product. We must verify it out so that our money will not go to waste. And next is avoid panic buying. A wise consumer does not let himself be affected by artificial shortage because hoarders want only a high price. Yes, and this usually happens during natural disasters and health crises. So with that, people can develop unusual behaviors and that behavior is what we call panic buying. Just like what we had experienced last year when the local government announced that we will be going under enhanced community quarantine. So a lot of people did go to the mall in able to buy those products that they will stock at their home. So we must, in that way, we must avoid panic buying because sellers will likely to change the price into a very high price because they know there were a lot of people who will buy those products. Next is be a reasonable consumer. The consumer always takes into consideration the price and quantity of the products, considering where and when they will be able to have enough products of quality at a lesser price. Next is we should not be affected by advertisements. The endorsement of a product by a celebrity has no effect to a wise consumer. The price and quality of the products are the selling points to a wise consumer, not how and who advertised. Okay, next is we should look for alternative substitute. There is a time that the products we intend to buy are not available, so as a wise consumer, you will look for the best alternative that will suit your needs.
So class, you should have this kind of characteristics. Okay, let me ask you, do you easily affected by the advertisements, especially when your idols are the one who advertise the products, such as Pepsi, which is advertised by Blackpink? Can you relate? And of course, kids by one and only Miss Taylor Swift. So just like what you have seen in the picture, that's Taylor Swift and her product, which is kids. So do you easily affected, class? Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, class, very good. So you should not let yourself be affected because once you get affected by the products, it may waste your money because sometimes the product is not really need in our everyday life, but because your idol promoted it, advertised it, you will buy it even if you don't need it. So we should always weigh things, okay, if it is in need or not. Okay, let's proceed to the last characteristic, which is looking for alternative or substitute. So based on your own idea, class, what do you think is this characteristic all about? Okay, very good. So if you can't able to find the first one that you needed in your list of your things that you needed to buy, so you can have a choice, which is go to the other store or find in that store the one that you might needed with, even if you can't find the first one. So there's always a substitute. If there's no like for example, if there's no magic syrup in the store, so you will find the alternative for it, enable for you to cook your meal. So now that we've already know various characteristics of a consumer, may I know which one among those characteristics is the most likely you possess? May I know, class? Okay, that's nice. It can protect you from harm if you have that kind of characteristics. So how about the others? Okay, very good. We must really verify the products first before placing it to the cart. Did you get it, class? Well, if that's the case, let us now tackle the rights of the consumer.
So now that we are done about the characteristics of a consumer, let us now proceed to the rights of a consumer.
So, first and foremost, as a wise consumer, we should know that we have rights that will protect us in every harm. So now, can you name one of those rights? Okay, class, what else? Very good. Is there anything, class? Is there anything else? Okay.
So now that we are done about the characteristics of a consumer, let us now proceed to the rights of a consumer. So consumer has the right to safety. This is the first and the most important of the consumer rights because consumers should be protected against the product that hampers their safety. Next is right to have basic needs. to have access to basic, essential goods and services, adequate food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, public utilities, water, and sanitation is the basic rights of a consumer. Next is right to choose. All consumers can choose the products they like to buy. If the products they chose are defective, they can return it. Next, right to clean and orderly environment. To ensure the safety of the consumers from illness and any health hazards, even from the products that they will buy, inspection of the marketplaces and health permits are required. Next is right to proper information. Every consumer must have the knowledge and information about the products so that advertisements will not deceive them. Next is right to be heard. Consumers has this right because it asserts the ability of consumers to voice complaints and concerns about products in order to have the issue handled efficiently and responsively. The next one is the responsibilities of the consumer. So the consumer has a certain responsibility to carry as an aware consumer can bring changes in the society and to help other consumers to fight the unfair practice or be aware of it. So you should know your responsibility as a consumer.
Okay, class, I will now let you analyze the pictures that I prepared for you. So you will just be going to tell me what kind of responsibility has shown in the scenarios. Okay, class, I hope you get it. So here's the first scenario. What do you think is the consumer doing? Anyone from the class? Okay, so this one, okay, okay, you may answer, please. Okay, very good. So this one, in this scenario, you are given the right to information. Therefore, you have the responsibility to ask questions such as, how much is this product? What can it do? Is it safe to use? What are its hazards? It hazards to my health. So those are the very basic questions that you can ask to the seller, and the answers to them are very important in guiding and assuring consumers or you to get the best value of your money. Do not forget to ask the seller for your own safety nest and for having a right to information about the product that you are going to buy. Okay, class? So next, okay, how about this next scenario? What do you think it is all about? What is right? What kind of right is this? Okay? Okay, you are allowed to speak. Okay. Okay, very good. It is indeed a right to choose. So as a consumer, we are a right to choose because it is a very basic right that we should have. It is our right since as a consumer we need to choose the best product, the best quality. We need to compare this quality to this product to other products. So if we do not like the one product, so we have another option that we can choose as we are going to buy the products that we needed in our house. Okay, class? Now, class, that we are done in our discussion, we will proceed in using Nearpad because you will take a matching type test there. So all you have to do is to click one picture and then pick its match among the other pictures. So if you cannot understand the direction, you can ask me again. Okay, so those students who cannot able to join in our last matching type test, don't worry, I will upload the link of the app and then the pin game so that you can able to uh, test it again later after class. Don't worry, I will upload it in your LMS. So now we will proceed to Kahoot. It is evaluation. So I will send the pin game, and again, those students who cannot able to join now in our Kahoot quiz, don't worry. Again, I will upload it in your LMS. Okay, class, do you have any questions, queries regarding about our topic? Do you understand our topic for today? So if you have any question, just message me later so I can help you to understand it. So now let us proceed to the assignment. So your assignment for today is you need to create an informative and engaging brochure about the government agencies and private sectors that implement the Consumer Act. So class B guided to the rubrics. So here's the rubrics to be used. So originality and style, it contains 15 points. The overall presentation of the brochure shows inventiveness and creativeness. So if you get that, I will give you 15 points. And then if you are creative, if your presentation is very creative, I will give you 10 points for that. So the overall presentation of the output is well organized. Government agencies and private sectors that implement the consumer that act are correct, and important details are shown in the brochure. So I will give you 10 points for that if you follow it correctly. And of course, after you make a creative presentation, you need to have a narrative and documentation. So I suggest while doing your brochure, you need to document yourself. You need to picture yourself while cutting those papers, while creating a brochure. So the content of your documentation is 25 and organization and style is 10 points. So if the narrative with documentation show the step-by-step process of creation of the brochure, captions are integrated with every picture's photos and it is well narrated. So photos are clear and are not pixelated. Do not forget, it should be clear picture. Then organization and style is 10 points. So the overall presentation is creative, well organized, and impressive. Okay, class, do you understand? You can message me again if you have any queries about your assignment. Okay, so I guess it is clear for you. I guess it is the end of our discussion for today. Goodbye, class.